Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Prime Minister on Holness on COVID-19 vaccine drive.
The problem that we're picking up on the ground with taking the vaccine, people are saying it is inconvenient. The wait time, they have to leave work, and sometimes people are spending an hour or more in a vaccination site. Is there any way to speed it up? That's the general question I get for persons who are willing to take the vaccine, but like everyone, they have a busy schedule.
Right. While people are being registered, they can be counseled and hear about the vaccine. That is one way of speeding it up. We want to observe people for 15 minutes, but perhaps if things get tight, we can reduce it to 10 minutes. But there's little room here and there.
So there is an observation. So we have an information period when you come in.
Right.
You have a wait period depending on how many vaccinators you have that's administering the actual jab in the arm. And then afterwards, you have an observation period. And why do we need to have the observation period?
So the observation period is important because there are short, very fast side effects that can happen just after receiving the vaccine. So people may get dizzy, feel as if they want to faint, especially because a lot of people come here before eating breakfast.
Yes.
Right. So we just want to make sure that people they're okay just for that small period of time.
Yeah. So why did you decide to take the vaccine? People are dying. So fear is one reason. Why did you decide to take the vaccine? So you looked at it and you have for your safety and your well-being. Why did you decide to take the vaccine?
Well, I realized that all my friends took it and them not die or nothing happened to them. So I decided to take it as well.
Right.
It is a smart decision. Everybody's supposed to take it. There is no mark of the beast, there's no trick, there's no nothing. It's just reality. You have to take the vaccine to survive. Yes, you can still catch the COVID, but if you're like, I have a strong immune system. If I even catch the COVID vaccine, I probably wouldn't know. But I still need to protect myself and others. I have a baby sister, I have a mother, I have a sister that the both of them have asthma. I have a grandmother that has hypertension, diabetes, and all those things. I have to do my part. And my grandmother's downstairs right now waiting to take her vaccine. She just cannot come up here.
You have said it better than I could. You have said it better than I could. There's so many false information about vaccination. And people hold some strong views about vaccination. It will take time to convince them.
Because I was once one of those who said I wasn't going to take it. But after a few months, I realized that nothing is wrong. I have a lot of friends who took the vaccine overseas and over here, and they're fine.
There's a high level of mistrust of government in the country. So, there will be a certain percentage of persons who will, anything the government said, they won't listen. But it's still the government's duty to bring the information to the people. But you are a very powerful influencer in your sphere. So if you go back to your community, all of you here who have taken the vaccine, you are the heroes for making that decision. You can go back into your community and encourage others to take the vaccine. So in addition to the public education that we are doing, you can also do your own community education and encourage persons to take the vaccine. In fact, in Jamaica, you have a saying, if you can hear, you will feel.
Yes.
Right? But that doesn't have to be the case, because you can learn from your own experience and you can learn from other people's experience. So I'm asking you to use your experience to help others to come to the conclusion to take the vaccine.
This is a 3-week program, just started this week. Already, people in Cherry Garden have been calling me and I've been sending out WhatsApp to expect you, because you have been up there.
Yes.
And they have been asking Ministry of Health doesn't know Prime Minister, they call Ministry of Health. I have had to send around WhatsApp to say, yes, it's genuine, it's a constituency thing.
Yeah.
So when you go, you can call my name, you can call me, okay?
I follow him.
We're not doing too bad today. We have over 400 so far PM. But we need to get to 1,000 today.
Yeah.
That's my aim. So please call around today And believe me, it is important, not only for this constituency, but for the country, that we vaccinate. We have to try and encourage the hesitant to come out.
Now let me say that your Member of Parliament, our Minister of Justice, Delroy Trump, has been a very strong advocate in the cabinet for vaccination. The challenge that we have is that aside from the high level of hesitancy that exists, and we use the term hesitancy to describe persons who are anti-vax, meaning that they are opposed to vaccination for scientific or religious reasons, or moral reasons. They just are opposed. And then there are persons who are uncertain about vaccination. The government recognizes this. And what we have done and currently doing is we've put together a national vaccination plan. And that plan was disclosed from as early as April, May, sometime in June. The Minister of Health appointed a National Vaccination Commission to advise us on vaccines. And we took a decision that we are only going to use vaccines that are declared by the WHO as being approved for emergency use. So we understand that the population in Jamaica would have a high level of skepticism about vaccines. And so we would not have wanted to bring in vaccines that were not WHO approved. And therefore we had to wait until such approvals were given, and then that had a little delay in the vaccines actually coming. But that was for the specific reason that we did not want there to be any resistance to vaccines on the grounds that the vaccines were not approved. So for me, the advice I give to people is that the first vaccine you get is the best vaccine. So we know that in order for us to get people to go to the sites and get vaccinated, we will have to literally, for some, go to their homes, knock on their gate, say, hold dog, hold the bad dog, come and give me 2 minutes, let me talk to you about vaccine. Some people go and run you and tell you, look here, we don't take none. Fine. You all are seasoned workers, so you will know how to treat with such persons. You will be given the pamphlets and brochures from the Ministry of Health. You might want to leave. You might want to use your own experience and say, I got vaccinated, because, by the way, one of the rules of this program is that anyone who is going to become a community, what's the name we call it? Influencer for vaccines.
Ambassadors.
The ambassadors for vaccines. They must be fully vaccinated. So everyone in this underground program is fully vaccinated. So you can use your own experience to explain to those persons who might be skeptical. In the same way that during election time you go out and you knock on gate and canvass for us, canvass to get people to come out and vote, it's the same way now that we have to work in the national interest to go and get people to come and take the vaccines. It can allow us to return to normalcy much more quickly. You can go back to earning your living. You can go back to having your freedom to party from 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. the next day, if you so choose to. But right now, with things as they are, we have no choice but to limit movement and limit gatherings, which has had a terrible impact on the society. Terrible impact. And I know and I understand. I mean, I hear all the complaints, I know and I understand. But the flip side is that if we don't do these things, if we don't use these general measures, then the hospitals will get overcrowded, which they have gotten overcrowded. We could run out of oxygen, which, we have had challenges. Our nurses and doctors could become overwhelmed, which they have complained of being overwhelmed. So it is a difficult situation that the nation is facing right now. So I'm appealing to all of you. I know that you understand, you are our foot soldiers, you are on the ground, you are going to go out there and be the ambassadors. You getting your vaccine or you getting it already? Yes, very good. So you know what we say, right? You are the heroes, those who have taken the vaccine. Because you are doing it not only for yourself, but you are doing it for the country. And we are appreciative of that. And as a student here, I'm so happy that you are taking the vaccine because that means we are one student closer, vaccinated, to going back to in-person teaching and learning. So thank you very much. You are my heroes. And I want you to create more heroes to take the vaccine.
Prime Minister on Your Wholeness on COVID-19 vaccine drive.
Who are you? Yes.
I can't call the nation on the fasting. Call the nation on the fasting. Whenever you're locking down the country, make it be fasting with prayers. You can't fix it. You can't manage it. You can't deal with it. Jesus' blood still run. Same way. His blood is the power. And let me tell you, you're going through wicked a time. You're going to go through wicked a time. You need to submit to God as a leader. You need to call the nation and fasting and repentance, Mr. Andrew. I am one of your delegates, but Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord.
A very, very good prayer session with Pastor Pitkin and Reverend Stevenson, and it's a whole host of pastors. And you remember that a couple of years ago, we had a national prayer. The challenge we have now is we obviously can't call everybody together again to have a national prayer and fast because of the protocols in terms of gathering. But what we do is that it is something that we would not consider to do, which is to bring all the church leaders together and call for the nation, wherever you are, in your own home, in your community, and we all at the same time petition together the Lord.
A couple of years ago, the Lord gave me a vision, and He showed me where Jamaica repenting. Hey, we're no better than 80. No, we're not. If we repent and turn from our wicked ways as a nation, God said He will heal the land. He said, if my people, hey, who are called by my name, would humble themselves and pray, seek my face and turn from our wicked ways. Lay down and prostrate and say, Lord, show me the late. If God tell me that it is, oh God, Mr. Angela, if God said that, that's what He meant. I was the one that bring the message to the then Prime Minister, Mr. Bruce Golding, and tell him to call the nation on the fasting.
Have you vaccinated?
No, I'm not. The blood I still trust God.
But you wear your mask.
Yeah, Mr. Andrew, please.
But I'm encouraging you.
Please.
So hold on. Please. You've given me your message. Let me give you my message.
Yes.
My message to you is that your perspective, your belief, the message that you have got from God is a powerful message. It's a message that I have to hear because I am no more than a mere mortal. And I have never been on any pumps and pride. I have always been on my knees praying. And I don't pretend to have more power than the Lord has given man on the earth. And at every opportunity I get, I pray. I pray with the leaders of the church. I pray with the common man. And I'm always happy when someone says to me, I'm praying for you because, like you, I believe in prayer. But, God has given man wisdom. He's given man reasoning. And he has given man intelligence. That does not replace faith. What it does is to give man the ability to work. But man's work can be in vain if man does not still believe in God. In other words, man is not leaning on his own understanding. He's believing that there are still some things he does not know. Whatever is created in this world, it is created by God. God said in the Bible, He is the author of everything. Whether it is vaccine, or chemotherapy, or vitamins that you take, or arthritis pill, or pressure pill, whatever it is, He is the author of it. He has created man, and He has given man dominion over the land. Now, it is not the first time in biblical prophecies and in biblical history that humankind has been threatened by plagues and pestilence. Not the first. And it won't be the last, as you have said. There will be more difficult times to come. We understand that. But in every situation where mankind has been threatened, God has appointed a leader. And He has also appointed persons who have greater understanding. He has anointed them. Today we have our leaders. We have our Prime Minister, we have the cabinet, but there are also leaders who have been anointed with a sense of science, that they can look at the natural situation of things and they can take the natural situation and bring it to bear. So people are saying that the vaccines are unnatural. There's nothing unnatural. God created it through man and gave man the intelligence. Now there is an argument that sometimes man go too far and try to change up nature and this and that. I am not going into that conversation. The conversation that I am wanting to have with you is that taking the vaccine does not in any way reduce your faith in God. God is going to protect you. And the way in which you are protected is that He has created man with the intelligence to create a medicine that can cure you. So I would encourage you. So I'm agreeing with you that we need to have prayers because there are things we don't know. That we need as a nation to humble ourselves before God and turn away. I agree with you. But I also said to you that what God has created, that we know as medicine, is not different from any other medicine. This has been around for hundreds of years, saving life. That we need to do this. I have heard too many stories, and these are not stories in the sense of people giving me anecdotes, of pastors in churches preaching out against the vaccine, and at the same time members of their congregation passing away because they have been infected. Let us be wise. Let us take the knowledge that is there. Let us as a people, my dear, keep praying to God to save our nation. But let us also do what is necessary. One of the reasons why I'm at your gate, is that I know there are many Jamaicans like you. My job as leader, you're part of my party, but my job as a leader is to come to you. Come off of high horse, come out of my office, and come at your gate and talk. You get the opportunity to tell me how you, and I respect it.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.